into our third game of this best of three. And I mean, it's been a tale of quite literally two halves. It felt like BPI were really so very strong in game one. It felt like everything they did was right. Everything was going perfectly for them.
Oh, it could be a 2-0 from that.
Well, we were sat there during the half in the break going, I don't know what HR are going to do. And we found out a lane swap, completely lock out Lissandra, and it'll take Graves away from Ritix, and it worked an absolute dream. So really intrigued to see how this one's going to play out as we go into game three.
And speaking of Ritix, going to get his Graves banned away yet again. Remember, guys, since Hard Random did win quicker, I believe they get blue side or choice of sides, and they're going to take the blue side. So actually, no, sorry, they did swap back again. So it looks like BPI, actually, no, yeah, it looks like Hard Random, sorry, did actually win quicker. But either way, Gnar, Syndra, Graves, same bans coming in. On the other side, same bans as well, except the Zed being used this time. They were a little bit afraid of it. We did see Kira and how strong he could be on that champion, really just dominating that game.
Yeah, and what that has done, or what it could have done, was it opened up Pantheon. However, that's not the case immediately. First pick, we do see Jarvan picked up. I can only assume that's going to be for Duke-chan. Quite happy with his performance on that. Obviously, the victory coming when he was using Jarvan in game 2. So, I mean, Pantheon perhaps was initially a targeted ban. We saw it banned away in games 1 and 2, and now with the Zed taken away from Kira, instead of taking the Pantheon that's been available, they go for what they know, and they also take Jarvan away from Crimson, which we know he favors.
And the thing is, so that last game, it wasn't like BPI just completely lost the game.
No, not.
It was all due to that lane swap that you pointed out. That whole thing just kind of threw them off. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they run a generally similar combo or similar lineup, but maybe not go for the Lissandra this time, because if that lane swap didn't happen, I'm pretty sure BPI would have had it. There was even moments where they were looking very strong, and that look in your face, I can see it on your screen. We're seeing Janna and Pantheon picked up here. Crimson, I'm trying to think, has he played it? Yeah, he played Jarvan in both their games, and they're round of 32 up against Team Strix. So this is going to be cool to see. Now, will we maybe see the whole CC top lane, CC mid lane, CC bot lane kind of thing again?
I think it's a higher possibility. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, and especially because Pantheon works so well when you have additional lockups. You know, any sort of gap closer that the enemy team may have, they burn it, and then there's a Pantheon on your face. That tends to be the way it works.
It's the worst thing to have on your face.
It's the worst thing to have on your face. Big, muscular Pantheon. And so as we go into this one, we can see actually the bot lane completely confirmed for Hard Random. Corki and Nami locked in. So they're, of course, going to be in the hands of One Shot. One Shot taking Corki. It worked for him in game 2, and it's going to be trying to pretty much matching what worked for them in game 1. Hard Random taking what they know and basically sending it to BPI and say, hey, this was what we won with. Let's see what you can do.
And now we're going to see. If they pick Tristana, expect a double AP again. Because Tristana, very weak early game, pretty weak mid game, has a stronger late game than every single AD character, except maybe Vayne. If she can, close the gap appropriately. But with the Maokai being sat on, so you have your CC top lane now, maybe mid lane Ahri. We did see Neza sitting on Ahri in the beginning just for a split second, so that is a possibility. But that will be confirmed. So Tristana and Maokai now. And Maokai doesn't even know he's up against yet top lane, but we could see Smurf go Kassadin again up against that.
Yeah, we could do. I mean, it's nicer to not pick Kassadin blind, and of course they've been saving that one as a potential pick. Smurf, I felt like he was a real key element to the victory for Hard Random.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're hovering over Riven there. I don't know whether that's the wisest pick into Maokai. It can be a pretty strong 1-3, and then Maokai gets bigger and bigger. So as they're deciding what they're going to pick, it's still worth highlighting the safety that Maokai provides. It's not a pick we've seen yet, and so putting that in the hands of Nasus in that top lane, it's such a step away from the Lissandra we've seen in games 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Very true, and I do not expect, I was about to say, I do not expect that Katarina picked up at all. Fizz, you're blind picking Fizz, into a mid lane and against a stun out of Pantheon, and if you don't use your E right, then you're going to be in a really bad spot.
They make more sense.
We've seen this before.
Yeah, we have. We saw it before when it didn't quite work out for in favor of Hard Random before.
Are we going to see... No. Xerath again mid lane? Fred Leo?
I feel like I think we're going to see an Ahri. We talked about it before, and as I say that, as we're hovered over. But I mean, we know how well Pantheon works with that additional lockup. A charm, even perhaps a slow is all you need. Yes, Xerath has that stun, but it feels like it's very hard to land.
He does have the stun. But then remember, like the whole combo of the Lissandra thing was, let's lock someone out with an ultimate for Lissandra, have Xerath rain his ultimates in without even missing. I guess that doesn't matter at all because Orion's being picked up here, so we can talk about that a little bit more. So they have the ball delivery system out of Oriana with Pantheon. Remember, Maokai, I believe he loses the ball when he twisted advances in because he becomes invulnerable, or untargetable, I guess is the way you should call it. So that they can't really use as a delivery, but the Pantheon combo to pull them all together can be strong. But it's not really Wombo Combo-esque, their team this time.
And neither was it the last time. They had the potential last time, and I don't think we saw one really strong Shockwave in that game.
Yeah.
That can be the kind of the pressure put on you when you pick Orianna. It always feels like everyone's like, okay, so this is how it's going to work. This is the game-winning Shockwave. And it does, I mean, I can see how that might play on the mind of Leal, where he's so cautious to not make a mistake with Shockwave that he's not doing it at all. And so that's something that we're maybe going to be playing on his mind as we go into Game 3. On the other side of things, though, we've already highlighted it already. Smurf and Kira taking the same picks they did in Game 1. Didn't quite work out last time. It felt like that, yes, Kira was really quite a presence on Jace.
Oh, no, sorry. Smurf played Swain in Game number 1.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, he played Cass in Game 2, so he's switching that up a little bit.
Kira and Jace in Game 1, yeah.
I think that's why we're seeing the Orianna this time, to kind of work around that, you know, because... You know, if they had Swain, it deserved to be easy. But, you know, with a Cass who could jump on top of you, need someone that's going to be a little bit safe in that mid lane. It's still be really cool to see. And Kira, I mean, like, we have to keep in mind, this is Game 1. It seemed like, you know, almost ages ago. But he dodged so many skill shots so damn easily. And if he can do any of that mid lane against that ball that's being thrown at him constantly, it's going to be really hard to get, you know, poke onto him that you might need.
Yeah, and let's talk summoners for a second. We've seen Orianna, or Leal, I should say, taking Ignite, and
that is
Jace responding with an Exhaust. Now, what do you have to say about that?
Oh, the Exhaust is just from Jace whenever he goes in. He wants to limit the damage that Orianna can do. The Ignite, though, that's a bit tricky.
I've always felt like Orianna...
It's heal or barrier you usually take with Orianna, especially when you have a Cassin and a Jarvan and a Jace who can kind of dive into you. So that will be questionable, but to me, that says they want kills middle. So maybe Nasus will actually gank middle quite a bit. Remember, we saw this, I believe it was the Aces High game. Actually, no, it was the first game with Lissandra constantly coming down, free kill over and over and over again, as long as they had the ultimates up. So maybe if Maokai does the same, we could have a constant feed into Lil. And, you know, we can all, I'm pretty sure everyone out there can remember the 9,000 or the 3,000 elo Shockwave that Ferelnord pulled off for an alternate back when they're trying to qualify for the LCS back in that summer split in Season 3. So getting Orianna fed early on, she can do some insane damage. So, guys, game starting up here. Game number 3 here between Hard Random and BPI Phoenix. We're going to drop you in and see how this one's going to kick off.
Indeed, and of course, one last time, the rosters for you, just to run down exactly what we've seen as well in the past. For Hard Random, we have Smurf in that top lane, tried out Swain, and now falling back to the very much more successful Kassadin, Duke-chan, Lee Sin in our first, sticking to Jarvan, though, in games 2 and 3, and Kira, the Zed and Jace combination. He's been pretty present on all of them, and it's been interesting to see he goes up this time up against Orianna, and of course, that bot lane doesn't change too much. One Shot and Demonko going to be hanging out in Corki and Nami, respectively. Why don't you walk us through BPI?
Oh,
actually,
Crimson's
taking damage.
Oh, well, we'll first put a ward down there, so he will have vision of anyone trying to go for the invade. He's head back really quickly, go heal up. So that gives us time here for Nasus in that top lane on the Maokai, Crimson on Pantheon on the jungle, Leo on Orianna in the mid lane, Riddix and Masterwork on Tristana and Janna. And you know, if you guys are just joining us, you're not too familiar with what's going on here. This is the League of Legends Turkey International Invitational, and right now they're playing for their chance to advance into the semifinals to play against the winner of Gamers 2 and HWA, which will be coming up tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m. CET. We already have 2 teams qualified through the semifinals through the top half of the bracket with SK Gaming Prime, and of course, I forgot the name for some reason, Aces High. I don't even know why I forgot their name.
You said it like 5 seconds
I
ago.
know, right? But right now, they're all playing for that chance to play in that $10,000 prize pool. So, a lot of pressure on these 2 teams right now. And you're going to see them throwing everything they have at this game.
Yeah, 10 teams have already lost out of their chance for a slice of that 10,000 prize pot. And alongside the money, there's also just a chance to perform on this stage. You guys watching at home, you're going to start recognizing these names, seeing what these teams are capable of. And that's really what's important to these teams as we go on further into this game. So as we reach that 2-minute mark, the first waves are going to start clashing and CS is going to start coming in. And in that bot lane, it's a matchup that we've seen kind of half before. In fact, we've seen it almost exactly before. Masterwork and Demonko changing supports, though.
All right, so Tristana, again, going to be very not squishy, but not have as much damage early on as you're going to see one-shottic. Meantime, look at this Juke-chan going for an invade, going for a gank early on onto Orianna in the mid lane, and Leal, I'm not sure if he's expecting this, but he does have flash, and that's the best thing they can hope for to get rid of it.
Yeah, he's just going to be hoping to force a flash, I think, at this early on. He's not planning on doing anything special, just forcing that 5-minute cooldown, forcing it as fast as he possibly can, and then coming back, making an appearance. And here it is. He's got the exhaust on. They're trying to go hard. They force the flash. They're going really hard. What is this? Double flash force. And I feel like a huge mistake has just been made by Hard Random. They forced the cooldown they wanted, but they used almost all of the ones they had themselves. The only cooldown wasn't used was Smite, and I don't think Duke-chan had anything to Smite.
Not yet. Not without that Stalker's Blade for
him.
What
a fool.
And you can understand what Kira was doing. He was trying to get behind behind Lil to go for the knockback with the hammer, just like a Lee Sin would with the kick. But unfortunately, Lil just flashed a little bit too fast there. He escapes. But again, the most important part, like you pointed out, that's a lot of summoners down, and that gives a lot of possibility here for Crimson to go for some easy ganks middle. Yeah,
he knows Kira's got no flash. He knows that the counter gank from Duke-chan would be kind of gimped. The fact that he doesn't have a flash in order to respond to that, and so now kind of the boot is on the other foot.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought they were going to send Nasus down towards mid lane to go for an easy gank.
Presence again.
Like a 3-man gank there, but Crimson's second to go for the invade here, and he's just going to get a ward down?
I think he's going for the deep ward. He's also going to be maybe making a move to clear out a couple of these camps. In fact, no, it is all just a battle for vision. And look at Duke going low. You can see just clearing out that Raptor camp. And actually, Raptors do a huge amount of damage at this in this patch. And actually, I was listening to, I believe it was, who was it? I think it was Nightblue talking about the most efficient way to clear out the camp. And he was doing some kind of theory crafting, had a spreadsheet out and was saying actually killing the little Raptors early is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. And you know, it really gives benefit to those AoE junglers. But meantime, Crimson taking away Gromp, trying to deny some CS and some experience, most importantly here from Juke. But he might be looking for a gank here top lane. He has red buff. He knows that Jace on the side Kira shoved up to his turret, so they might be going for this one. Smurf going to get twisted advanced on.
This is bad. Smurf's in trouble. He doesn't have the mobility that level 6 Caston has. His flash is forced, but looks like he was saving the stun for last. First Blood comes in. Beautiful execution from Crimson, using his kit to a T. And now, as First Blood comes in, the gold's going to start tipping in favor. And now we see him once again, another gank onto Lil. No flash, though.
That Command Protect is giving him so much shield, though, and it makes it too tough for Kira to have enough damage to burst through him. But like you said, perfect execution out of Crimson, saving that flash for as long as he possibly could until it was used, or sorry, stunned until Smurf used his own. And he still has his flash up now. Crimson, he can go for a gank yet again middle. And this is a strong start for BPI. This is what we didn't see out of them last time, because that lane swap really throwing them in the spanner.
Yep, indeed. I think that's going to be... I mean, the lane swap, I feel like perhaps we could have seen it again from Hard Random. I know, obviously, it's a different matchup. Lissandra, not so present this time. The Maokai probably deals slightly better with the lane swap.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't really have a comp picked against them to lane swap with right now. But, I mean, as you point out a perfect fact is that it threw them off so hard that why not kind of go for it again?
That's exactly it. And I mean, what have they had? 5, 6, 7 minutes to think about it and come up with a game plan? If they were to have that again, I don't feel like, I mean, it was really in favor of Hard Random if they forced them back onto that same back foot that BPI struggled with so hard on the second game.
Look at this. Crimson spotting out exactly where Juke is. He knows he has no flash up here, and he won't force him again. So he's trying to punish him constantly here, and he has Smite, so he could stay with a Raptor, where Jackie doesn't, or Juke, sorry, doesn't have it. But Kira getting behind him. Now Crimson in a rough spot here. Masterwork on the bomb side getting very low. Force the flash away. He will go down. DeMarco picks up the kill. Now one shot could go down. Now Ridix won't commit for the fight.
He didn't want it. He didn't want to take the risk. And look at little health. One shot got away with that. In the meantime, though, you can see this constant exchange in the top lane. Back and forth they go. As I mean, CS slightly favoring Smurf, 41-35. I'm sure that gap will be closed as the lane plays out. And looks like Ritix is going hard here. Heal's being used. Flash is forced in response, though. One shot is going hard. He's got his Valkyrie. Heal is used in response from Ritix, and there's so many summoners used, so many things invested. He flashes under the turret to secure it, and the minions are still hitting him pretty hard. But he is going to get away, and he's going to add another kill to his team score.
Just barely there.
That was risky.
The thing is, if Ridix hit him one time, that would have been the death of him. But instead, he tried to run away. He even used he even turned to fight and then used summoner heal, which was really weird out of him. But in the end, the little mistakes made does net one shot at the 1 kill and the 1 assist lead now. So things are gonna get a little bit rough here on that bomb side. It was already hard for Tristan to begin with. Now things gonna be a little bit tougher here in that camp.
It's not going to be easy for them now. And, I mean, gold lead, it's still very slight. 600 gold really separating these two teams, but it still demonstrates that Hard Random are potentially in the driving seat of this one at the start. CS, the biggest discrepancy actually in that bot lane. We saw already Ritix and One Shot butting heads, and we saw Corki coming out on top, even if it was very slightly.
See, right now, Kira, he's sitting on about 1,600 gold. I really hope he doesn't make the same mistake that he did on Zed in terms of not buying a little bit earlier. Like, Zed, you can get away with it. It's okay. You're getting levels. But Jace, you need to start stacking that tier as soon as you possibly can to really have that nice bump when it comes to the mana immune or the mirror mana transition. So he's going to pick up blue buff. It looks like he's going to continue to sit around in this mid lane.
Well, both of them are. I think it's really a case of battling for CS.
I'm not going to back if you're not going to back.
Exactly. They don't want to be the first one to go back unless they're forced to. And both of them kind of sitting on pretty decent health. Leal a little less better off than Kira. And they're just going to be happy to sit and outplay at the time and wait for the other to make the error, make the mistake. And Junglers not really paying too much attention to that mid lane after what has been a pretty intense, the initial like 4 or 5 minutes in the mid lane. And now they're just sitting pretty pretty, and CS pretty level as well, about 100 gold separating the two mid laners.
Oh, and you hear that little sound. That's
there it is.
Getting hit with the Shock Blast combo. So Kira going to maintain dominance in his lane, going to continue to, I guess, build up a little bit of CS, going to show the lane as quick as he can, and then he should most certainly be going back to buy.
I think that's exactly what he's doing. Just wants to kind of level out the CS, push that wave into the turret to be the most efficient as he's going to be heading on back. Does have that blue buff as well, which is going to aid him when he gets back to lane. And talking of lanes, that solo lane in the top has been pretty kind of back and forth. It's a pretty farm-based lane between the two. Smurf looking a little bit worse for wear. One death already we saw from that fantastic gank from Crimson. And talking of Crimson, I feel like we haven't seen too much of him after that initial gank.
Yeah, he went back to farming mostly. And, I mean, the opportunity he had to gank middle is now out the window with Kira having his flash back up. So any lane he's going to gank, it's going to be on bottom since he knows One-Shot doesn't have his flash anymore. And look at the damage being done here. One-Shot gain very low. Again, one more attack would be the death of him here. And that might be the key for Pantheon to go for the man drop. He's already heading down here, and he's most certainly going to be going for it. Yeah,
but they have the potential to dive this. There's such low health. Of course, Masterwork there, able to provide the shield and perhaps aid them. Here comes the man drop, and he's got it perfectly. One-Shot is eliminated. Dimonko could be in trouble as he is smited to slow him down. Slow this one down. Nasus has made an appearance, and he's just going to be twisting, advancing through onto the minion to evade it.
This is brilliant.
Beautiful execution from BPI, and that's going to open the door to Dragon.
And remember we talked about before in that first game, what made BPI win was those teleports out of Nasus coming down towards that bottom lane. He joins the party, gets nothing out of it pretty much, but like you said, he's going to secure a Dragon here. Smurf will get some free time to farm in the top lane, but the Dragon right now, this little confidence boost is going to be fantastic, but Jace, he's trying to go for the steal off to the side.
Yeah, it happened before, and it could potentially happen again. We saw Kira steal away, I think it was the first
Body
Dragon.
block it, come on.
That's what they're trying to do. They want to get positioning. Are they stopping it? BPI is so cautious of the potential steal. They knew Duke was there. They also knew Kira's presence was around. They knew he was missing from the mid lane, and they weren't willing to take that risk. They knew the power of Kira and the power of stealing that one away. Actually, no, you know why? He didn't have a smite. Crimson smited it during that gank. There was no smite available, and Crimson didn't want to take that risk.
Very observant. Didn't even notice that until you just mentioned it. So, yeah, backing away from that one. Smart play by them. Good catch by you. And now you see the Rod of Aegis almost done here for Nasus in that top lane. 76 CS, Catalyst, and that Blasting one finished up here. And now, Dimonko trying to go for the pink ward here. And that might be the death of Crimson off to the side. He has flash. He could join the party. But it looks like Riddick's not positioned to help out here just yet.
No, Riddick still, of course, waiting, just lying in wait. We saw, was it almost 300 CS, 290 CS or something at about 25 minutes. It was really an incredible CS lead. And I feel like he's going to be going that same way again. One-Shot currently actually leading the fray, 82 to 77, but that doesn't negate the fact that Riddick is being allowed to do what he does best and just farm away quite happily in this bottom lane. He has been taking quite a lot of poke, quite a lot of one-on-one duels being forced by the bot lane of Hard Random, but it's not really enough to kind of push him away. He's got the sustain, or the shield, I should say, from Masterwork to keep him in this lane, and it's all they need at the moment.
This is one thing you hate as a Tristan is, like, you can't freeze a lane. It's just not possible in Tristan unless you don't level your E, and now it's being forced to the last time of the turret, which makes things a little bit more difficult, as you can see. And either way, Pantheon are waiting for the redrop now. Ultimate almost back up. Look at this. Nasus trying to come in for a gank here middle, but now this might be the time to go for Dragon.
This is it. This is where they need to force this fight. You can see already, actually, Kira making a move towards that bot lane. No vision has actually spotted him out, so his whereabouts are not known.
No, they know that he just killed a pink ward walking by.
Oh, he killed the pink ward?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So they know he's coming. Actually, Crimson's in trouble in that middle area round towards Drake. Crimson has no way out of this Cataclysm. Juchan's forcing it. The TP's coming in. Here comes Orianna. The shockwave doesn't connect. Forces the flash, though. It's back and forth, and Crimson does go down. That's a whole lot of gold now to Smurf. An influx of gold to the Rod of Ages Kassadin, and that's not what you want. But as they go on in, Nasus trying to make something happen. Supported by Orianna. It's a back and forth 2 versus 2 as they're perhaps trying to make this Dragon happen. It's around 3,000 health at the moment. Hard Random looking to take it down and take it down fast. They know they have the advantage. They know that really Nasus isn't in a position to force this fight, and they can't. Snatched away, actually One-Shot getting the last kill as Kassadin backs on up from that one, and they take quite happily a kill and a Dragon from that fight. And that levels out the gold almost exactly to 17.4 to 17.3.
Really questionable play by Crimson there. I mean, he was sitting in the Cataclysm. I guess he knew Orianna was coming in. Like, he knew he had his teammate, and he wanted to kind of stick around long enough to pick up the kill. But the shockwave was flashed. And then he was kind of stuck, like, all right, well, I need to escape, but you're not going to escape the Kassadin, who was teleporting in for the longest of time. So, fortunately, they do give up a death. They do give up Dragon. And let's put them, I want to say, a little bit behind because of the momentum that they're building up, but it's only 100 gold difference here so far.
Yeah, and it feels like more. It does to me feel like HR still feel pretty confident in their playstyle and how they're executing these ganks and kills, and BPI picking up what they're throwing down at this stage. Morellonomicon completed in that mid lane. Leal going to be... I mean, that's a strong item for Orianna. Obviously not building towards the themes because he's laning against that heavy AD presence. In fact, a very heavy AD team. As it looks like Crimson's going for a man drop.
He's going on to nothing right now, unfortunately. He's going to try to chase...
What's he going to do here?
Kira there, but doesn't have the speed to catch up. So, unfortunately, that man drop not working out.
That's a big cooldown down.
I wonder if he's trying to force it. That's the thing. Like, is he trying to really force these man drops in just to make ganks happen, or is he trying to let them come naturally? Because, you know, out of his total amount of man drops, only one's been successful in that bottom lane.
I think it's probably a case of, to be the most efficient Pantheon, yes, you should use your man drop as soon as it's off cooldown every single time. And so he's maybe getting a little too far into that mindset and thinking, my man drops up, there's someone in mid lane, let's try and make this happen. And perhaps he's trying to force fights that can't quite really become real or be realized. And
Leo wasn't even there for that one. That's like the,
she was thinking about it. She was by the turret, but not far enough. In the meantime, as things look to be taking a slightly slower pace, we can take stock of the CS, especially in that top lane, which is now exactly level, 110 to 109. And junglers in level terms of gold as well, both of them kind of building towards their key items. In fact, actually, the 3 kills under his belt, Crimson's kind of leading the fray in terms of gold, 4,200 to just 3,300 for Juke.
But this is the downside, again, to stacking the kills on one person. It kind of naturally happens on Pantheon because you 100% crit when they're below 50% life. So, you know, stealing it's really easy. I mean, securing it, sorry, is really easy.
Kill secure.
But that's not necessarily ever a good thing. You know, you want to give as much, you know, kills and farm over to your, you know, your solo laners here or even your AD carry. And, you know, just imagine if those 3 kills or at least 2 kills were over on Riddick's instead, that would be a very scary Tristana. That'd be Infinity Edge Tristana right now.
It would be. At the moment, though, just sitting on that pickaxe and BF sword. And it means they're really on the back foot in this bottom lane. You have one shot now with that Triforce complete, and they can't trade. There is absolutely no reason where they should be able to win out on these trades, but it looks like they're going to do it just now as they're putting bullets in onto Demonco. No one's there to back him up. Crimson's a marathon away if he wanted to contribute to this bot lane. And look at the damage Rittix has taken in such a short space of time.
And Crimson, he's trying to maybe come down here towards that bomb side to go for the gank here, but he will have Juke-chan. Well, it's now up, but Juke-chan's in hot pursuit. He's already here at this turret. Ooh. And if they go for this, this is going to be a huge turnaround. Rittix can't even really survive to even go for a fight.
No, they don't really want to fight this. And I don't think, they do now know that Juke-chan is there. This could be messy as they've just forced to back away. The leap, the rocket jump is used, and that's just going to have to be it. That's going to be the end. That is all she wrote as they back away from this one. And now Leal just hanging out in that mid lane in this exchange between Jace and Orianna, and that matchup's still pretty level as well. Both mid laners 0-0-0. Just sitting in their lane, farming away. No surprises that both of them have the most CS on the board as they've pretty much been hanging out, farming, and having a chat.
And you see Crimson trying to defend this turret here with the help of Masterwork, but looks like they'll keep it alive for this wave. They got to hope Tristana gets down as quick as he can. Riddick's already on his way, and this turret should survive a little bit longer. But now with about 1:50 to go on Dragon, this is where things got really weird in the last game, where BPI just extended in the wrong time with Bluestone right before Dragon, and that almost inevitably cost him the game. And right now, Crimson looking for one shot. Not going to go for the stun just yet. But you can see, you know, both teams, they want to make a play. They want to go, you know, heal up, buy up, whatever they need right before this Dragon comes up, because it's going to be crucial for either team to defend this. Yeah, it really is integral. And of course, Hard Random taking the first Dragon of the game after a bit of a kind of slip up from BPI, very cautious BPI, where they kind of had potential to take it, but were unwilling to take the risk after kind of learning from their previous mistakes, actually, where we saw Kira stealing it away last time he was on Jace in game 1. So, as we advance through this game, hitting that 17-minute mark, you can see exactly level in goal. We said this was going to be a close game, and it is indeed. Crimson slipping once again, having so many unsuccessful man drops at the moment. Not really the biggest presence on Pantheon, and that raises the question that, I mean, yes, Crimson picked that Pantheon up to stop. Well, I was going to say that to stop Juke-chan picking that up, but Juke-chan initially locked in Jarvan first pick, so I can't say that, but I'm unsure as to what the relevance of this Pantheon pick, because it's definitely not something that Crimson prefers to play. I feel like he's forcing these in. I mean, he could have went further back behind Jace. You know, Kira didn't even flash. So it's not like it was a perfect band drop or anything like that. And now with about 30 seconds left to go on this this Dragon, they're going to take down the first turn of the game here on the bottom side. And right now, Hard Random building up about 1,000 gold lead here. And just take stock of things in terms of items before we do get underway with that dragon. You can see both top laners now. Rod of Age is completed, though Smurf now with that needs to large drop. Kira sitting with the Manamune, sitting with the Brutalizer, and his Manamune currently at 405 out of 750. So that's really far stacked here so far at 18 minutes in. And when he completes that, that's going to be such a huge spike.
Yeah, he needs to kind of, I mean, it's all about gold at this stage, and obviously we already highlighted just how close and how tight-knit that gold is. Dragon doesn't provide the global gold, but still a huge objective for both of these teams. It's a question of whether it's going to be 6% AD.
Is this not going to be contested? What's happening?
I don't know what. Where is Jukechan? What, did they not see this coming? Did they not have a timer? Of course they must have, as the turret does go down, and surely so will Drake. Crimson's going to be snatching that one away, but the fight is being forced. One shot getting knocked away a mile alongside Valkyrie, thanks to the Typhoon from Masterwork, and he's backing away from this one. Rittik's getting away with just a scrap of health, but it's all he needs is one shot and a similar fate with just a flashing health bar. And that's the Drake picked up for BPI. And I mean, the fact that I was uncontested raises some eyebrows for me.
Oh, Smurf doing some really good damage here to Crimson, but one thing we haven't pointed on is the amount of shields that BPI have with the Orion and the Janna here. But the mid turret already being pushed on, taking down about half HP here. And Mr. Hard Random just going to back away. So tied up now 1-1 in Dragons. Gold a little bit different here at the 19-minute mark, as it's 28.2 to 26.7. But now I'm worried when Leo gets his Rabadon's death cap, the power spike he's going to get from that will be ridiculous. And when that happens, all it takes is one combo just to completely blow up one shot at Kankira.
Yeah, it's a huge power spike for Oriana. Oriana goes from being this kind of shield bot / shockwave bot to a real dangerous AP presence. And you can see, obviously, Jace has got the Manamune, Last Whisper, and the Brutalizer. So Kira is in a fantastic position as Jace now. As it's really, I mean, I'm questioning how much AD he's going to be currently sat on. Kira has 236 AD, just 20 minutes in with that Brutalizer Last Whisper combination. He's going to be shredding through any armor that the opposing team are going to be building.
This is dangerous, though. Look at Hard Random. They're trying to go for forehand pusher onto this turret. It's down about half HP. They will have Pantheon coming from the side. Oriana as well. And here we go. They're going to go for the chase, it looks like. Crimson going for the man drop in front of them, trying to cut them off. What is that? That is a bad man drop. You need to go further ahead of them. And now he's not even going to get a stun onto anyone, and they're going to run away from this. No, they go for the turn.
Head in hands, flashes force left, right, and center. As here comes the counter push. Jukechan's trying to make it happen with the Cataclysm. Flags and drags away in a defensive maneuver. Demonko's wave washes Pantheon away as Jace manages to neutralize another. As Masterwork does fall, as does Lael, and this is going horribly wrong. Nasus doing his last-ditch attempt to try and take Corki with him. He does grasp him as he falls down again. A double kill this time for Kira, and that is a huge 1-for-4 exchange in favor of Hard Random.
Why did he drop right there?
I have no
places.
idea.
Like, I almost even want to go look at a replay of that just because you were not far enough ahead. And this isn't the first time we've seen that. He's done that middle as well, dropping too short and not getting the distance he needs. And from that, he ends up not getting any sort of kill here. And now Riddick's he's going head-to-head against Jukechan on the bottom side. Won't pick up the kill, but he does get, I guess, 2 turrets from this. But that was, in my opinion, a major mistake.
I mean, this is just unbelievable. You can see, look how short it is. There is absolutely nothing. He forces one shot to Valkyrie away. Congratulations. And then what does he have to show for it? The flash is forced. Demonko trying to go for an aggressive bubble. Leal immediately flashing away from that one. Then Jukechan comes in, and this is where it goes horribly wrong. Crimson's locked up. Great evasive maneuvers from Jukechan. And now here you see just this constant, beautifully executed dive was Kira just sitting at the back line, doing what Jace does best, as Smurf cleans up quite nicely as this tanky Rod of Age is casted in. One shot, a little bit of an overextension from him, going under that turret's range. Bit of a mistake from him, but overall, fantastic team fight from HR.
And the thing is, I can kind of understand why he went short, because he didn't want to go too deep and not have backup. But if you're going to commit for a fight, you might as well commit for the fight, right? And they were up, 4v5. They even have their AD carry there. Now, Kira, oh, man, he's dead. That was really quick. But they didn't have their AD carry there. We're on the other side of Hard Random. They did, and that allowed them to pick up an easy fight, to pick up an easy 2 turrets in the top lane. Just, that was a mistake. Maybe miscommunication. Maybe Crimson not clicking the right spot. I mean, we have seen some weird Pantheon man drops from the Aces High game where, that was the distance. We saw one before. But still, that is just something you can't have happen at the stage of the game. But look at this, they're committing for even more.
They're trying to make something happen, and you can see it looks like he's going to be in trouble. The tree is going to be felled if he's not too careful. Crimson's there to back him up, and they pick up one. Corki going low, and so low he's hitting the spawn timer. 3 down already. Kira on that late timer, 15 seconds on Demonko as well. And
now as quickly as BPI make a mistake, Hard Random did the same.
it's kind of questionable from them. As 7-7, that's leveled out the kills and the gold. 36,000 on either side, 4-4 in turrets. In this game, we said it was going to be close, Jason. Not 7-7, 36,000, 4-4. Sure, that's unbelievable.
I said that when you weren't in the office. I was like, today, Joe, we're going to see 7-7, 36,000,
that's
4 turrets apiece.
23 minutes in.
That just shows how evenly matched they are. And, you know, League of Legends at the highest level is a game of mistakes. You know, taking advantage of the other team's mistakes or taking advantage of them being in a bad position. And, you know, right now, either team is causing the other team to make those crucial mistakes that can either cost you, you know, your tournament career. Remember, this is a best of 3, and we're already 1 map in, or 3 maps in, I guess 2 maps in, with the Maul tied up at 1-1. You don't want to have mistakes happen right now. But even, you know, knowing that, you're at the stage of this game, you know, at the stage of this tournament where you have to make big plays. You can't afford to, you know, hold back. And that's where you're seeing, you know, mistakes made so heavily, you know, with what's on the line.
45 seconds now on that Dragon buff, as they're going to be scrying around. This battle for vision is going to be so constant. As you can see, sweeping lens picked up now for Nasus. He's going to be looking to provide even more vision. They have 4 sweepers and a scrying into just 3 sweepers on the side of hard random. So that's an example of the battle for vision and which team is kind of putting more priority on controlling the vision. BPI desperate to delete any sort of wards, any sort of kind of mistakes or potential mistakes that can be made just with a lack of vision around that Dragon Pit. Still 10 seconds on that one. Don't forget that really neither team can let the other team forgo this or take a free one. BPI's first Drake was pretty free, and we don't want to see that happen again.
You know, right now with Dragon coming up, they're just completely prepared for it. And no, keep in mind, there was no vision on it last time.
It's a free one. It is. And
actually, no, I think there might have been vision, but they took it without any response out of hard random. And right now, they're just going for a straight push. Remember what happened last time when we saw this, of just going straight for a push to finish off the game here. And, you know, hard random, they might be able to get some damage on this inhibitor turret, but they won't get it down. Leo is back to base here, Pantheon as well, and a teleport come from Maokai. They're looking for a fight. They're going for the man drop. It's finally going to land.
This is a fantastic one, straight onto Smurf. That is the target of his affection, and Juke-chan is going low. The Cataclysm under the turret was such a risk, and it does not pay off. Valkyrie not going to close the gap enough. Nasus is going to be sitting onto Corki. Heal is used for that heal and movement speed, and now it's coming pretty back and forth. Rittik's doing huge amounts of damage. The Tristana has reached that level, reached that spike. Smurf's going to be going low. Rift walk away in the meantime. Kira in trouble, knocking away any sort of potential damage, but it's not going to be enough. Another man falls. An entire team ace, a triple kill for the very quiet Tristana, and now Baron is being started.
And finally, the man drop we were looking for finally lands. He didn't come up too short. He finally didn't come up too short. He landed exactly where he needed to. He had Nasus go for the teleport down towards his pink ward right here, and then have him come in from the bottom side to catch him off guard. They pick up a perfect ace. And they're going to pick up Baron off this. This is exactly what BPI needed to really get back in this game and start to show some sort of dominance here. Not to mention Masterwork. He had a Magi's before that fight. Now he's up to 12 stacks on it.
That's going to be a huge influx of AP. In fact, I'm intrigued to see how much AP he's currently rocking, sitting on 189 with just the Medjais. And actually, no, he's got his Frostfang as well for that little bit, tiny bit.
Shield absorbs. Like, it's a 1-to-1 ratio in AP in terms of his shield absorption. So he absorbs 373 damage with that. Like, that is a lot of damage considering it's on a 6-second cooldown.
Not too shabby at all. And looks like actually we're going to be seeing Juke-chan go down. Leil was going so very low. He made a move on towards Orianna, and now the Baron buff doesn't get snatched away from Orianna, and that's a bit of a slip-up.
Look at these big buys coming in now. Randuin's Omen, Frozen Heart. We have the Elixir picked up here for Leo. I always forget the name of this one. Sorcery. And I believe Tristana is about to complete, or at least get that BS sword built up with the Vamp Scepter. So a lot of, you know, really big items coming in. That's going to give him such a big power spike. And the problem is, it's like, it's a big snowball, right? So you think of, oh no, I have to hold that thought because Mandrop going again on towards his bottom side most likely. And it looks like he came up short that time, unfortunately.
Crimson.
But, oh, they're still going to catch a one-shot here.
Yeah, the exhaust is used. Crimson just forced to back away from that one. He can't take a barrage from Corki. He can't afford it. Flash is forced, and now, of course, that twisted advance is a possibility. They don't quite have the movement speed to catch him, or he will now if Orianna provides it with that movement speed increase. He does, but the bubble says no. Fantastic feeling from Demonko. Ritix has made an appearance, but it's not going to be enough as he does send the barrage towards the fish. Demonko forced to back away from that one as this trade back and forth. BPI forcing fights now. They have that Baron buff, and they need to use it. They need to enhance those minions and make a move for that mid lane.
And Smurf trying to split push here this top lane, and he's trying to make someone come back to base. It's going to force, it looks like Maokai back. Actually, it's going to force the entire team back. Wow. That's
unexpected.
Very unexpected. They need 3 people to go for that. And I mean, they could have just been shoving it on middle here, but instead, you know, going to go for the safe route, get rid of Smurf, shove the lane back out. Actually, might even... Why did he flash for that?
I don't think he realizes he's trying to take down Caston. Of course, he has that Rift Walk available. And look at this. Crimson wasted his huge gap closer and his stun when there was no one there to back him up. And Smurf just laughing his way all the way home with that gap closer from Cassidy. And now instead, as that one starts to blow over, it feels like BPI putting a few too many eggs in that basket and trying to clear out that top push. And now that's going to level it out. Baron buff, of course, there is a bit of a time limit on that, and they're going to be starting to run a bit low on the buff. I think they have about, well, I don't have an exact time, not very long. It's about 10, maybe 20 seconds of Baron buff remaining.
So I can understand why they went back with 3 people. So if you think about it this way, they knew they didn't want to push 5v4 into a turret where Jace can wave clear and Corki can wave clear, like on the inhibitor turret. And if they went for that, if they sent one guy back to stop Smurf, they knew that one guy who was going back wouldn't have teleport up to get back with the team. So then it would be a 5-on-4 fight against them. So instead of making that happen, like, all right, you know what, we'll concede, we'll just back away, and we'll just stop that top lane push. We won't give up any kills here, because that's been one big problem between these two teams of making these subtle mistakes. And instead, they're just going to let the Baron buff wear off and play this one safe. They know they have a lead. They know they have a big lead. It's just a matter of time before they can push in for a win.
Yeah, a matter of time. And talking of time, Crimson has been caught out once again. It may be his time, or his time may be up, as Duke is going so very low. Smurf makes an appearance, though, as the Zhonya's comes in to slow down the barrage that's being put out by Ritix. Caught off, though, Smurf using a Rift Walk. Here comes the Mandrel trying to catch him out, and it's not going to quite work. He's going to be forced between a rock and a hard place. He's going to be going down, this time to Tristana, the Megalyn Gunner. As here comes the hunting party. They're looking for Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan?
Yeah, I've called him out before, don't worry.
Jackie Chan's blood, as Crimson and Nasus are going to be closing that one out. Malachi picks up that kill for his 3rd, and that's going to be 3 bodies now on timers, and they're going to start making a move towards this top turret. Actually, they're going to be making a move. They don't have that Baron buff, don't have those enhanced minions anymore, but don't forget, 45 seconds until that dragon does respawn, and look at the chunk taken out of Masterwork by Jace. And even from the backline, Kira is be able to output a huge amount of damage with that completed Muramana.
Remember we talked about, you know, the shield of Janna, 353 damage is going to prevent. You know, pair that with Orianna, which is another a lot. And
the Bloodthirster shield.
Yeah,
throw that all together.
I can't do math.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, not particularly for Riddick's, but anyone that gets slow. Because, you know, one thing we saw in that fight was Crimson. He was 1v2. He got the Janna shield. He got the Monsoon, the healing, and then he got the Orianna shield. And he just instantly, you know, jumped up about 500-600 life, and that, you know, makes it really hard to burst anyone down.
It's true, and off the back of that, after absorbing all of that, you then have Masterwork with that ultimate to fall back on to keep you safe and sound. Just pop the Monsoon, and a huge tide of healing comes on in. And now Dragon is live, and looks like HR are not going to let this one slip away. Yeah, I mean, BPI, they don't care if they lose this one. Not that big. Oh, that almost got stolen away, actually. But they're not that worried here. And actually might be going for a fight. The teleport coming from Nasus looking for someone. They might be able to catch him out. Demonco, Tidal Wave coming in to force them back. One shot, it's so low on HP. It looks like they should be able to escape this one in the meantime, but you can see, you know, Hard Random, they are scared here. They do not want to go for this fight. They want this so very much. Nasus is just closing in, twisting, advancing just to close the gap. Forces the flash from Kira. Fantastic execution. I don't really know what Kira was thinking, what he was worried about, but regardless, he forces that cooldown, and Nasus is going to have a big smile on his face as now we reach that 31-minute mark. And BPI, they may have forgone Dragon, but it's going to be a big, scary, bruisery push towards this bottom turret. And they're just looking for that moment they need here to push into these turrets to, you know, get the damage. Luckily, they have a Tristana, so, you know, hitting the turrets going to be pretty easier. Juke-chan getting solo HP. He's going to get taken down by Riddick's, and that is their jungler now gone. That is their hard engage gone, and this should mean the inhibitor turret should fall. I mean, Tristana, one of the best AD carries to take down these turrets because of the range that she has. And look at that. Well, that actually really killed Orianna going down. This is bad. Great move from Smurf. Can he get away from it? Scarf free. He can, as can One Shot. Kira not so lucky. He goes down thanks to Crimson and the gang. God. And look at this. Ritix unstoppable. 7-1. The man is myth, the legend, I should say, as he picked up such a fantastic kill-death ratio in every single one of these games. Take away his graves, he'll do it on Tristana. As now Smurf doing his very best to stave the bleed. As looks like Nasus trying to finish this one off. Looks not going to happen actually. Juke-chan coming in on this one as Nasus does eliminate the Castin from the game. Well, he will go down in the end from that one, but they pick up a Nexus turret and they will back off of this one on top of that. So they finally do get a shutdown onto the tree, but still the damage has been done. You've seen damage that Riddick's can do, and he's even waiting maybe for someone to just push straight into him for a free kill. But that is a 7-1-7 Tristana
300 CS in. He has 3,000 gold to spend when he goes back to base. And that is just a complete item. That's a Last Whisper done.
Just throw in an extra Last
And even
Whisper.
if your tankiest man Jarvan can't sustain 4 hits from the AD carry of the enemy team, then how is anyone supposed to survive?
Yeah, this tanky frontliner, I mean, to be fair, his armor is pretty sketchy as it is. He's got his kind of Warden's Mail and his Ninja Tabby. That's probably all he has to say for it. So Last Whisper is going to be shredding through absolutely everyone. In the meantime, though, there's a huge battle going on as the wave trying to beat it away. Crimson picks up one. Rittix is in trouble, but the heal says no as the Shockwave is used as an assassination tool to remove Kira from the map. Demonko meets a similar fate once again. Rittix is just so strong and so mobile at the moment, and he still hasn't spent that gold.
He still has 3,600, and they're going for the man drop here. They're going for the finish, I think. Yeah, he's dropping with the minions. They have a super minion there. They have 20 seconds left on 3 members of Hard Random, and they're going for the shove here on the middle turret. They're going to get the kill, and the Smurf Rittix is going to get away here with the jump. And this looks like BPI are going to be able to finish up here and advance in the semifinals to join Aces High and SK Gaming Prime.
We have our third confirmed finalist, or sorry, semi-finalist, I should say, as they wrap this one up. And it's been a fantastic game. We said it was going to be close, and BPI, they make that third map look like we were complete amateurs.
Yes, they did. 8-1-9 on Tristana right there. Had a little bit of a rough early game, but from there on, once he got